Check it out, Casper!
Is that it? First to 2, okay. Oh. What the hell? Who's... Like, they've spent so long bringing this out, and they're like, right, guys, what are the features we want to be there straight away? Well, drawing on the celebration screen is obviously the main one.
Yeah, duh. I'd not have that there.
Hey everyone, Casper here, switching over to some post-commentary now, and I want to tell you a bit about how I'm finding matchmaking so far. So that clip you just saw, it does beg the question, what are they actually focusing on at the moment? Because there's a lot of key things that I think aren't quite there. And those key things are, for starters, matchmaking. The whole point of a matchmaking system is to play competitive games against balanced teams. For me, that's the critical thing, balanced teams. And from what I can tell, there's absolutely no attempt at the moment for them to balance teams. Now, that could be perfectly intentional due to the player base. There's not a lot of people that are currently in the beta. Even during the stress tests, people aren't going to have a rank. So if they did try and perfectly balance games, it could take like half an hour to find a game. So I can appreciate that that might not be there for those reasons. But at the same time, all that is doing is leading to a miserable experience for a lot of players. And one of those players is me. I'm finding in the large majority of games, I'm against a stack of players. Now, if you're solo queuing and you're, say, randomly, you're paired with 5 other players who are pretty decent at the game and say you're decent yourself. But if you're playing against 6 players who aren't very good but are coordinated, that will make a massive difference. The game's called Team Fortress 2, and a lot of people joke about no one plays as a team. But when you do play as a team, you are so much stronger than any individual, no matter how good they are. So aside from that fact, I'm saying there, you're going to lose against a coordinated bunch of rubbish players. I've been matched against literally some of the best players in Europe while I've been solo queuing or queuing with just one other friend. I've played against Cadus, and he was queued with at least a couple of other players. If you don't know who he is, he's pretty much the top level demo man in the EU, or one of the best at least. And I also got teamed up against Nerd Rage, who I understand recently won one of the European leagues. So there was at least 3 of them stacked together, which is obviously... I'm not going to win that. And even if I teamed up with 6 of my teammates, I'm not going to win that the majority of the time. And it's obviously, yeah, it's not about winning. It's about having fun, having a good game. Honestly, to me, a good game is a balanced game. Even if you lose, if you feel like you played well, then that is a good game. But that's not going to happen when you're against a significant stack one way or the other. And there's another key thing, aside from stacks, that can make games unbalanced. Hackers. And I'm not talking about, oh, this guy's really good, he keeps headshotting me, he must be a hacker. I'm talking about guys like this. Spinbot, evidently aimbot hackers. And what can you do about this in the middle of a game? Absolutely nothing. Not even can their own team kick them at the moment. Now, the way that hackers are dealt with in other Valve games, such as Counter-Strike Go, is an Overwatch system, which is basically where community members can watch back replays and ban people who look like they're hacking. That is a massively robust system. I personally would obviously love to see that in Team Fortress 2, but we don't know if that's coming, or even planned. However, when it comes to hacks like this, is essentially an LMAO box, why can't VAC pick it up? I know that's probably a very broad question. There's probably some very sensible answers as to why VAC can't pick that up. But when it's so blatantly obvious, why can't it be done anything about? And my friend Bobmas, who you heard at the beginning there, we played a game on Lakeside, and the other 4 members of our team were all Spinbot snipers. And I didn't enjoy that game at all, even though the hackers were on my team. Where is the fun in that for either team? I just realized how much of a rant this has sounded like. I really apologize for that, guys. But basically what I'm saying is there's some key problems right now. So I like the idea of there's no class limits and there's no weapon restrictions, because that is going to encourage the developers to balance the game. That's great. But I really don't think solo queuers should be matched up against teams. For me, I've realized that the reason that I used to enjoy competitive gaming, if you didn't know, I used to play competitive Team Fortress 2 probably about for 2 years. I played on a Highlander team as Spy, and that was pretty much all I played. I really enjoyed that. And I've started to realize now, when I'm solo queuing, even when we're winning, I'm not really having that much fun. I'm not playing Spy, because Spy's not going to be particularly useful in those situations, which is my favorite class to play. And I'm playing with strangers, mostly who aren't communicating. And I've realized that the reason that I personally enjoy competitive gaming, is achieving those things with your friends, working together as a team, as friends, to develop strategies and beat enemies. And when you're solo queuing, you don't have that. Obviously, that's me. A lot of people will probably enjoy solo queuing and improving their personal skill and only their personal skill. That's cool. That's cool. You'll enjoy it. But if you're trying to do that right now in matchmaking, you're going to be doing it with or against hackers and probably against a lot of stacks who are nowhere near your skill level. So yeah, I really think that matchmaking's got a long way to go at the moment. They need to put in much better matchmaking, actually balance the teams and make a really conscious effort to do that. Some weapons are going to need rebalancing. I mean, Criticola is just ridiculous. The map rotation is probably a little bit stale, but it's a little bit difficult to decide. And if they can add a 9v9 ladder and it will get populated, and it has to be Highlander classes, that would be really interesting. But I'd be really reluctant to comment on how that would turn out at this point in time, because who knows? So that's my 2 cents on it so far. As you can tell, I'm not really enjoying it. It could just be me personally, you know. As I said, I don't play Scout and Soldier particularly often. I like to play the more fun classes, which in the current meta game, which most people are playing in matchmaking, then I'm not going to be that useful if I do that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what it can bring. I certainly don't think it's a bad thing to exist, but there is a lot of little crimps that need to be ironed out. Anyway guys, I hope you're enjoying it. I will be giving away some matchmaking passes maybe. If you're interested in that, leave a comment saying I'd like one, and maybe you'll get added and I'll give one to you. So thanks everyone, and I'll see you next time. If that ain't fair, I don't know.